At the end of the day, like I said, I do like the set. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fruits review. Tonight, I'm taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man and Vulture 2-pack. Walmart exclusive. I've been away for a week or two. I saw online that these were popping up, and I figured coming back from Orlando, Florida, and stopping at every Walmart along the way, I would run across it. Never did. Get home, sleep a day. I went to Walmart last night, and here they were, at the Walmart 5 minutes from my house. I drove 16 hours, never saw it. 5 minutes, have it in my hands. Now, I was interested in this mostly because of the Vulture. I didn't realize just how much of a reuse the Spider-Man is, but we'll get into that here in a minute. Looking at the package, big-ass window on the front, you see everything that's in the package. I love it when that happens. I don't like hidden stuff behind. I want to know everything that's in the package. Got the Vulture figure, got the Spider-Man figure, extra hands, and then, I don't know if that's a helmet or an extra head yet. I can't quite see under there, but we'll find out. It took me 5 minutes to realize this is the Ultimate Spider-Man version of Vulture, because I never read any of the Ultimate comics after the initial arcs. I kind of knew Spider-Man was Ultimate, so I figured Vulture was Ultimate because of that, and then my dumbass finally looked down and saw Ultimate Spider-Man logo here at the bottom. So, nobody ever said I was observant. On this side, we get a cool picture of the Vulture. I'm used to seeing him as an old man, so seeing him like this kind of throws me off, kind of Lex Luthor in a Vulture costume, but Ultimate, whatever. On the back, nice big pretty picture of the Vulture and Spider-Man. We have a cover right here showing Ultimate Spider-Man with Vulture and Spider-Man on it. Again, me being oblivious to things like that, still wondering if this is Ultimate, but there it is right there. Some bios, some warnings, says something like, wings do not actually fly, don't jump off your roof. On the other side, got Spider-Man. Bottom, legalese, top, just Legends logo and more window in case you want to look at the top of their heads or something. I don't know. But I'm going to get this open and see exactly what's going on here. There we go, all out of the package. And I like this set. I'm going to say like. It's not a great set. It's not a bad set, but it's, yeah, let's take a look at it. Getting Spider-Man out of the way real quick because I've already reviewed it before. This is the same Ultimate Spider-Man that came out a while back in one of the Spider-Man Legends sets. It came with the Miles Spider-Man 2. I actually got rid of this figure. I sent it off to Pabs in Denmark because he can't find shit over there. So I'm okay with getting this set because I'm replacing that Spider-Man. I don't have it anymore. I have it again. It's a good figure. It's a nice sculpt. It's a nice teenage look for Spider-Man. And that works for me. But like I said, I reviewed it before. It should be popping up right now if you want to check out that review of him and Miles together. So, moving on to the Vulture. Nice and thin and kind of creepy looking. Like I talked about at the beginning of the video, it's not the old man, which really creeps me out for some reason. I don't know, it's more Vulture-like, more buzzard. But the young one's not bad either. He does still have that Vulture look to him with the bald head. It still screams Vulture at me. Now, as far as new sculpt, I think it's the head, I think it's the torso, and the crotch piece, and the forearms. The rest of it uses that old Superior Spider-Man body. At least I think it does. And then we get to the colors. The skin tone's nice, the face paint is nice. I like the eyes, I like the eyebrows. But the greens on the body are kind of mismatched. There's a metallic look to the limbs, but it doesn't quite translate as well onto the torso. As you can see, new sculpt back here, it's got some kind of blades on the back of the arm. Here, and then the belt piece with the little balls on it, that's new. The collar piece is not actually part of the torso, but it's glued on there good enough to where if you rip it off, there's gonna be a big gap there. Turning around, he has his backpack with a removable piece on it. When we get to the wings, I'll talk about that. But like I said, the metallic here doesn't really match up with the torso. It doesn't have quite the shade. It's almost a little bit lighter and not quite as metallic. So it's not super jump out at you, but it is there. And then my other problem comes in with the articulation. I'll talk about this before getting into the actual articulation. But my huge problem is it's hard to get him flat-footed to stand up straight. and that's because of the detents in the ankle and the knees. The neutral position, you can see his toe is kind of kicking up right here compared to the other one. Just slightly, it just makes it a little bit difficult. You have to kind of step him forward with his left leg in order to get him to stand up. Otherwise, you have the detent here, which is way too back, detent here, which is toes up a little bit, and then there. You only have those three, well, there's 4 positions. There's up and down too, but they're kind of out of the way. Same with the knees. If you pop it back to the other detent, it's too far back. You kind of got that step look forward, and he's kicking forward. That's not really the figure problem. It's more of an engineering problem there. It's the same with the top. You get that there, and you can do it, but it also becomes a problem when you get the wings on there and the center of balance changes completely. But going over articulation, there's a ball on top of a hinge in the neck, and the head is really scooped out really well for a lot of articulation. That and the ball doesn't actually lock up in there. It locks, but you can still see there's a lot of ball showing. So you get a lot of range of movement here because of that. But you get up all the way, which is great for a flying character. You get down, he can bury his chin in his chest. You get swivel side to side, tilt side to side. The shoulders, we run into the same problem we had with the Superior Spider-Man. They don't really go down at his sides really well. But it's a hinge and swivel in the shoulder. You can come up 90 degrees, and then it swivels around. Got a swivel at the bicep. Got a double elbow, comes all the way up. Hinge and swivel at the wrist. Hinge, swivel. The torso. There's a hinge here, but it doesn't move. On the back, you have the backpack coming down like a spine protector, kind of. So you can't get back because that doesn't go anywhere. It's formed directly to the figure. And then forward doesn't have anything either. You can get maybe that much. Other than that, there's no movement there, which kind of sucks. He's kind of a sinister, evil, vulture-looking figure. I'd like to have him crouched down, sitting with his wings spread out. You know, waiting for prey or something like that. There's a swivel at the waist. Hinge and swivel at the hip. Comes forward. Past 90. Great range right there. Back, pretty good. Out, about 45. Have a swivel at the thigh. Double knee comes all the way up. Hinge at the ankle. Goes all the way back. Goes forward, pretty good. And then forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as I've messed with this more and more, I've already taken pictures and stuff like that, there is a looseness to the limbs once you get to a certain point. You can see once you bend the knee, there's kind of a floppiness there. But in straight position, it seems pretty tight. So it's only between certain detents that it gets loose. In fact, I don't think there's a detent from here until it locks into straight up and down position. Now for Spider-Man, the only accessories he comes with are wall crawling hands, which I love. I love the addition of this to every Spider-Man figure. Then he has a fist for the left hand and a thwip hand for the right hand. But for Vulture, he comes with a set of wings, and which makes sense. Vulture needs his wings. Nice metallic sculpt to it. The green, again, is slightly off from the body, but I will forgive it. It's not a huge deal because of it being actual metal instead of whatever he's covering his body with. And then the wing sculpt, a nice metal feather look to it. It's not a lot of detail. You can see the separations in the feathers, and they look kind of sharp, but other than that, it's not super textured or anything, but it does the job. And then to put those on, the backpack has this slide out piece with 2 pegs on it, and you'll notice it's a D shape for both pegs reversed of each other, but on the left side it's got an extra peg on here, and that's to keep from putting the wrong wing on the wrong side. But there is a curve forward. If you put it on backwards, it'll be curved back. It'll look kind of awkward, but you just slide those on, then you plug that into the back, and his wings are on. And once they're on, there's no movement. That's all you have right there. And there's no folding back. There's no moving down. There's no articulation whatsoever. All that articulation went to the movie Build-A-Wing Vulture from the next Spider-Man wave. But as I mentioned, the wings change the center of gravity immensely. It throws off the balance. But as you can see, once you hit that sweet spot, he is going to stand. And it looks good. It's going to take a lot of real estate on the shelf, but it's a Vulture. He has wings. That's the way it works. What I'll be doing is putting push pins in the wall and hanging him from the wings itself. So it actually works as a hanger. It works in my favor. And then for the last accessory, it's Vulture's mask. I like this, but it's almost pushing it too cartoony, if there's such a thing when talking about comic book superheroes and villains. But the addition of the beak, the mouth, the big eyes, it's a little on the nose for Vulture. But then again, it also matches the rest of the costume, so I'm good with it. I won't be using it, but I do kind of like it. I was wondering in the package if it was a helmet or a head. It's a head. It fits on the ball neck. So you have to pop this off. And this is a little bit difficult to get on. It doesn't act like it pops all the way on. But there you go. It's not bad. My problem here is the exposed neck. If you're going to make a helmet and an armored body and armored wings, you'd want to protect your neck, as the Wu-Tang would say. But once you put this on here, it pretty much has the same range of movement as the unmasked head. So you get side to side, you get up and down. It looks a little bit small, almost like a human head wouldn't be able to fit in there. So that's another negative against me using that. I like the unmasked head, and that's how it's going to stay for me. It fits the look of the neck being exposed, the head exposed, the Vulture look itself. Comparing Vulture to Superior Spider-Man, you can see that the limbs are reused. At least the biceps, the hips, and then the full legs. The sculpt matches up, muscle striations, proportions, that kind of thing. But because of the new torso, Vulture comes out a little bit taller, which completely works for me. And then here's my usual comparison with the Marvel Legends Black Panther. This is the standard superhero body that they're using right now. You can see Vulture's more lithe, more thin, more gangly than Black Panther. A little bit shorter, but not by much. And then for giggles, here's Spider-Man with the Miles Spider-Man. Same body, same head, same everything from the first release. At the end of the day, like I said, I do like the set, but I don't know how much it's worth the $40 price tag. It especially sucks if you already have the Ultimate Spider-Man from the old series. And Vulture by himself isn't really worth $40. But breaking down the actual price for the figures, it's $20 a piece. That's how much Marvel Legends are. So it's not really gouging, but the addition of a previously released figure is kind of brings the value down. Unless you don't have that figure. In that case, it's a perfectly acceptable set. I guess that's what it hinges on, is you having the old Spider-Man. Because I do like the Vulture. For all its faults, the Vulture does end up looking really great. The torso does need some range of movement. The articulation in the legs could be tweaked engineering-wise. The wings could have some movement to it to make them more dynamic. But presentation-wise, on the shelf, for pictures, I cannot deny that it looks great. But it's not my perfect vision of Vulture. I need the old man, the classic 616. It always amused me that an old man was keeping up with Spider-Man. He looked feeble. It looked like he couldn't punch his way out of a wet paper bag. But there he was, going up against Spider-Man. I always like that. But the more I look at this head, the more I want Puppet Master. Yeah, it doesn't look like classic Puppet Master with that weird shaped face and just odd look to him. But I think if you wanted to do a custom of Puppet Master, this head would be perfectly fine for that. And then you can use the masked head for this body. Or casts will pop up at any time now. So I'm a bit confused here. I don't know if I love the set. I don't love the set. I like it, but I just don't feel that the value is there. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Foosh.